Right, hip internal rotation test. We've got a few little options here. So this is useful because when we're internally rotating our hip, it's the backward motion of running. So you come inwards a little bit, some people more than others, but we need that to get the power off as you push back when you run. So it's the opposite of external rotation. We're basically going to take our feet wide. You might need to play around with the distance here depending on your leg length. You're going to use your hands behind you to support you. And then you're just going to keep your feet flat on the floor. You're going to bring one knee down towards the floor without twisting your torso. So your bum might lift a little bit, that's okay. You'll feel a bit of pinching probably in your hip. That's okay as long as it's not painful. So see where you are on one side and then do the other side. So again, we're trying not to twist in the torso. We're just trying to get the knee as far down as we can. And you might, if it hurts, that's your limit. Don't go any further. You might need a couple of goes at this. It's a weird movement. So just a couple of times, just see where you get to. So my right's not as good as my left. You will notice a difference on each side. So take a note of where you get to, take some film, and then we're gonna, so for hip internal rotation exercise to improve that range, you're gonna do the same thing you did for the test. So we're just gonna go backwards and forwards, one leg and then the other. Nice and controlled and mindful. Be careful not to use your torso to get there. So you're trying to keep your torso pointing forward. Your foot can come, sole of your foot can come off the floor, that's fine. We don't want to be excessively lifting the hips though. So just doing this for a few minutes will help. And then our first sort of progression of this, the easiest way to do it would be lying down on your front. So if you had quite limited range there, this is a good place to start. You're going to lie down on your front, don't matter what you're doing with your body. You're going to bring your knee up so that it's what feels like a right angle to your hip, and your ankle's going to be at a right angle to your knee, so 90 degrees angles. You're then going to pin your knee to the floor and lift your foot. So nice and controlled again, lift that foot up and then bring it back down. And again, you're just going to do this a few times, nice and slow. If you're filming this, it's easier to see where you're getting to as well. Or you can do what Jason's doing, you can just look back. And then when that feels comfortable, you can start to add some resistance to it. So you can really push the knee into the floor and lift that foot as high as it'll go and hold that for 10 seconds. Really pushing the knee down. And then let that go. And you can do it again. So you're just going to keep doing that for a few rounds on each side. If that feels pretty easy, you can try doing the seated version. So you come to a seated 90-90. It doesn't actually matter what the front leg is doing. So if it's more comfortable to bring this front leg in, then do. We're taking the back leg out to a 90-degree angle. So torso facing your front knee, hip at 90 degrees, knee at 90 degrees, and ankle at 90 degrees. It's hard to say ankle, angle. And then you're going to see if you can pick the foot up. What we don't want is this. That's not picking it up with control, that's just using momentum. So see if you can pick the foot up and hold it for a sec. Keep your foot flexed. And what we don't want to do is, again, twist the torso, because that makes it a bit easier. So you're keeping your torso forward.
It might be stuck to the floor.
Yeah, if it's stuck to the floor, that's fine. Go back to your belly. Start there. And see where you are on both sides. But you can do the same thing again. Once this feels okay, you can start to hold it so you're driving your knee into the floor. Really pushing down hard for 10 seconds. And then letting it go.
That's worse.
You can see, I don't know if you can see, I can see here, Jason's really compensating here. So his hip isn't even at 90 degrees. You're not even that far back. So for this side, it would be taking it back down to your belly and doing that one until you can do this. Okay?